Is Tampa Bay going to come back and be dominant all year down there in the South? I wonder.
Probably. Seems like they might be pretty good.
Whole team's back.
They won 31-9 or something like that, by the way.
And they were only getting better. So it's like, okay.
They won a Super Bowl 31-9. Was that the score?
Yeah.
Great question.
That's a fucking blowout.
Yeah, they slaughtered.
It popped up on a commercial, I think. I saw it the other day. 31-9.
They didn't score a touchdown.
31-9 was the score?
31-9, yeah.
That's a fucking ass beating against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, there's no offensive line, but that Tampa team might really get going, AJ.
I think it'll be interesting to see how, like, is it going to be a bit of a roller coaster this season? Because obviously we know defending champs, everyone knows, they can put it together. They already have, and they're only getting better. But last year, the question was, maybe it'll take Brady a few years in this offense and this team, but they figured out a way to peak at the right time. Now, how long can you continue to peak is the question.
Now, interesting you say that because Tom Brady on the NFL Draft-a-thon, he was asked by Shannon Sharp during that thing, like the 19-0 run or whatever, would you rather that? And Tom said he would trade 2 Super Bowl rings for the undefeated season. So would you be willing to trade 2 Super Bowl rings to have gone 19-0? Shannon Sharp says. Tom Brady says, yes, I'd give up 2 to get that 19-0. So you know what happens every single year? Whenever the last undefeated team loses, and the Miami Dolphins, they pop champagne and shit. Tom Brady watches that and goes, "You old motherfuckers."
Oh yeah.
Like Tom Brady's like, "I'm done with like
fuming.
We should have had that."
Then he throws a dart at Eli's pitcher.
He said, "Yeah, exactly, bingo." And then also the guy that caught it on his head there. But he literally says that thing. I'm tired of these old dudes celebrating. He's willing to give up 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, fuck it. Take them. Don't need them. I'm going to get a couple more anyways. But that 19-0, that made me realize that when he said that, he was like, what you were talking about is, how long can they stay hot and don't get too hot too early? Can you withstand? And how long can you do that? And it's, I feel like he wants that. I feel like he wants an undefeated team. And I would assume that he believes they can, BA believes they can, Mr. Light thinks that they can, and Mike Greenberg down there, the salary guru. I would assume that there's a lot of belief that they can run the table next year. And that is wild to think about if they do go on that run.
Well, don't you think it's a safe bet to say that Tom Brady has never gone into a game like not expecting to win? Like he's never been in a game like, man, it's going to be in a big test. Like in his brain, he's never been, no matter what he says to the media, in his mind, he's like, we're going to go out here, we're going to dominate, we execute our game plan, we're going to run these dudes off the field. I feel like he takes that mentality every time, and he knows like this year, hey, maybe it's a possibility.
You believe, though, that there's some teams you're on where you're like, this team's really good. And then there's some teams where you're like, okay, we're going to have to get lucky a couple times. It feels like this team not as, good. But every game you think you're going to win. The strategy is put together. The game plan's put together. This is how we win. We have to execute. We need some things to go away. I understand that. But I would assume when Tom looks at this Buccaneers roster, he thinks to himself, this is the greatest roster I've ever had around me. Last year when we were just learning the offense late in the season after the bye week when we changed some things, and by we, I mean Tom Brady, changed some things. They all feel like, what if this is what he is going for? And Giselle asked, what more do you have to prove? And he's like, well, there's these one fucking group of old folks. They celebrate. All right, I'm tired of it. That would be cool to be us, wouldn't it? Because imagine Tom and Gronk when they're 65, 70 years old. They're the first to ever do the 17-0 all the way through because it's no longer 16 games, and they're popping bottles and celebrating. That's content for days. I would not think that Tom would not think like, hey, that'd be cool to have. Like, I would assume Tom would be like, we got to go get that.
Yeah, first team to ever go 20-0, probably the only team ever to, but you got to think, they got to come to Indianapolis for week 17.
Hey, there's a showcase game happening.
Yeah, who knows?
That's going to be tough. What's going to be on the line? What if both teams are already in? Are they going to rest players? Tampa's like, no way in fucking hell are we doing that. I was on a team that could have went undefeated. Chose not to. Was not a well-liked decision in the locker room. I was way too young. I didn't say a single thing. I'm just telling you what I've seen from the older folks that were in the locker room. They were not thrilled that it was a decision made at a high level not to go get that undefeated season.
Did the players did the players have any say in it? Did they?
No.
Like, did you have a leadership council or anyone they talked to?
I have no idea. I wasn't that deep into the politics of the locker room. whenever I was that age. That age, I was just the young, stupid guy, dance clown. All right, here we go. I'll do that. But I do remember hearing conversations, from all different groups of the team that I was potentially around, like, man, we should have fucking went and got that. We should have went and got that. We should go get that. I think it was a decision that I assume a lot of people had to agree on for it to go, including in the locker room. And I'm not just talking about Peyton or whatever. But I think that was I don't know if Peyton agreed to that or not. I have no idea. I would assume that there had to be some sort of agreement that would have to come there from some of the players, including Peyton and others, and the front office to make that decision, like, hey, this is why we're doing it type thing. But boy, I know it wasn't a well-liked decision. But I'd assume they thought, yeah, if we do get hurt, this is one of the best teams we've ever had. That'd be stupid to ruin it. But that's a gamble I think a lot of people wish that we would have taken. Now, we lose to Drew Brees in the end anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But boy, at the time, it was a pretty cool thing.
I mean, it's a cool problem to have, I guess. But right now, especially adding an extra regular season game, though, and going to go 17-0. So, like, you have to get so lucky when it comes to health of your team. If you do it, you're going to have some minor dings and stuff, and guys will miss some games. But like, it's a long season, man. You have Gronk. You have a lot of guys too that you're giving this designed rest to throughout the week and everything. It's like the old NBA load management situation. Part of their team is on that plan, so I think they should know, especially BA, that hey, it's not a huge deal if we drop a few regular season games.
Well, and by the way, that was the conversation I think that ended up being had by everybody, even though they were still kind of bummed about it. It was like, yeah, we can lose because guys could, but also, they celebrate every single year. Yeah, they get a chance to celebrate every single year. They have a party down there.